Hello viewers out there, welcome to another exciting edition of G9ijaTV News Headlines with your host, Dr. Champion. How was the night? Hope you slept well and hope you are catching enough optimism regardless of the country. You may be interested to know that Nigeria is having an economic growth according to statistics, but hope we shall continue in this trajectory. Very, very important. Okay, so we'll be talking briefly before the headlines about monkeypox. Of course, we know that there's been a lot of brouhaha and then back and forth on the spread of monkeypox. Monkeypox or mpox is an infectious viral disease that can occur in humans and other animals. Okay, symptoms include a rash that form blisters and then crossed over, fever, and swollen lymph nodes. The illness is usually mild and most of infected individuals recover within a few weeks without treatment. All right, how is it transmitted? Mpox spreads when a person comes in contact with an animal or a person who has the virus. Transmission occurs through direct contact with an infected person's bodily fluids, sores, scabs, or respiratory droplets. This can also occur through cuddling, kissing, or sex, or even body contact. Mpox is very, very deadly, and of course, Mpox can end your life if it's not properly treated. All right, what are the stages of monkeypox? We have maculis, stage 1, flat, distinct, discolored areas of skin, papules, raised spots on the skin that are less than 1 centimeter wide, vesicles, small fluid-filled blisters on the skin. Stage 4, pustules. Pustules is a small, inflamed, pus-filled sores, lesions on the skin surface. And of course, stage 5 is scabs. Scabs are hardened crusts. For emphasis, mpox, known as monkeypox, is a viral illness caused by the monkeypox virus, a species of the genus Octopus virus. Mpox leads to death. Some outbreaks have killed up to 10% of the people who get sick, although with recent outbreaks, we've had lower mortality rates. Currently is endemic to Central Africa. Monkeypox is different from pimples. People call about a lot of difference or similarities, but monkeypox is not the same as pimples. The rash in monkeypox will go through several stages, including scabs, before healing. The rash can initially look like pimples or blisters and may be painful, itchy, and very, very uncomfortable. Monkeypox is not a sexually transmitted disease. Rather, it can also be contacted or spread through infected person's contact with a non-infected person. So it's important that you avoid contact with someone who has the virus mpox. However, monkeypox is one of those conditions which, when there's an intimate touch, not sexual activity, is involved. Okay. It's important to know that there are signs of monkeypox versus other skin conditions. One way to differentiate acne is that it can present itself as comedians, which are blackheads or white hairs, pustules, or cystic nodules. Acne can appear on the face, back, torso, but monkeypox is typically found around the genital area or around the person's mouth. Okay, so most times it starts from the genitals and it spreads across the other parts of the body. And so monkeypox or mpox is very deadly. And unfortunately, here in Central Africa and other parts of Africa, mpox has been known to become an epidemic which is worth fighting for. There's a clarion call to end this epidemic so that one can live free of the virus. Okay, so it's also important as we round up this health tips to know that mpox is not a death sentence. Mpox or monkeypox can be treated, and surprisingly, those with very strong hygiene, those who have very high immune system, those who have very strong hygienic system can actually fight against mpox. It's also important to know that for those people who have HIV virus or have AIDS or have a dangerous terminal disease that have already weakened their immune system. If they could contract mpox, it could be a death sentence. And beyond that too, pregnant women are vulnerable to mpox. Children are also vulnerable to mpox. So let's join hands together and try to fight this new epidemic that is ravaging Central Africa and other parts of the continent and the world at large. Okay, and enough of that on our health tips. We'll look at what the papers are saying. What the papers are saying. Much on the news today, we looked at something that is very, very profound, and that is the insecurity in the Southeast. Insecurity in the Southeast. Many of our dailies are talking about that insecurity, and it's very, very unfortunate. And beyond that, of course, another cause of concern has been the current educational policy that has been submitted by the government as regards students that are below 18 years or scholars below 18 years will not be allowed to write JAMB, allowed to write WAEC from 2025. What's your take on that? Of course, you know that you can always be interacting with us if you check out our social media platforms, or even try to on our YouTube, leave a comment, and we shall definitely get back to you. All right, for the Vanguard newspaper, we have alleged terrorism financing labeled to storm force headquarters on Thursday. Alleged terrorism financing labeled to storm force headquarters on Thursday, according to the Vanguard newspaper. For the Punch newspaper, Interpol busts West African cybercrime mafia black axe. Interpol busts West African cybercrime mafia black axe. And still on the news, marriage certificate. 4 Nigerians jailed for exploiting people's desperation to remain married. Marriage certificate. 4 Nigerians jailed for exploiting people's desperation to remain in the UK as married couples. I think that again. Marriage certificate. 4 Nigerians jailed for exploiting people's desperation to remain in United Kingdom. And the 4 people involved are Abraham Onifade, 41 years, Abraham Onifade, 41 years, Abayomi Shodikpo, 38 years, Nosimot Gbadamosi, 31 years, and Adekunle Kabir, 54 years. These 4 people, according to a Woolwich Crown Court in London, has convicted and sentenced 4 Nigerians for forging over 2,000 marriage certificates to illegally help people desperate to remain in the United Kingdom. UK Home Office Chief Immigration Officer Paul Moran described the development as an exploitation of people's desperation following the ruling of the court on Tuesday, 27 August 2024. And beyond that news, we have other interesting story. Of course, we have something coming from the Daily Post, which is very, very important. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said to travel to China to perfect real contract, other MOUs, memorandum of understandings. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said to travel to China to perfect real contract and other MOUs, according to the Daily Post. And Lagos safe haven for youths, says Commissioner. Lagos is a safe haven for youth, says Commissioner. According to the Sahara reporters, flood kills 49 people, displaces thousands of Nigerians as state government fails to account for losses. I take that again, flood kills 49 people, displaces thousands of Nigerians as state governors fail to account for spending of ecological funds. What is that one there? Executive Telegram founder was wooed and targeted by governments. Telegram founder was wooed and targeted by governments. And still on the news, first ever delivery of mpox vaccines in Africa outside of clinical trials arrives. First ever delivery of mpox vaccines in Africa outside of clinical trials arrives. And for the Vanguard, insecurity, rising costs push 31 million Nigerians into acute food shortage, study says. Insecurity, rising costs push 31 million Nigerians into acute food shortage, study says. Another news in detail. More than 31.8 million Nigerians are acutely short of food due to security challenges and the removal of fuel subsidies. The government said on Tuesday, citing a study by several of the country's international development partners. The scale of the shortages, which has led to the malnutrition among women and children, was set up by the development partners at a meeting with the government on Monday and Tuesday, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning said in a statement. The findings indicate a sharp rise from the 18.6 million people assessed as vulnerable to acute food insecurity from October to December 2023 by the United Nations World Food Programme. The surge in food commodity prices, which as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, in addition to security challenges, has placed millions of Nigerians in a precarious situation, the ministry said. Raised by bandits wielding guns and machetes have forced many farmers to leave their fields, contributing to higher food prices and soaring inflation as Nigeria faces the worst cost of living crisis in a generation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who took office in May 2023, removed fuel subsidies to cut down on spending by the government, in a move that led to a rise in the cost of transportation. The study was produced by development partners, including the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, and the German development agency GIZ. The study used tactics from a nutrition analysis by the Kader Harmonise, a regional food security framework. Details of that can be seen in the Vanguard newspaper. And for sport news, Victor Osimhen transferred to Arsenal. Victor Osimhen's transfer to Arsenal or Chelsea decided as deadline day verdict revealed. Victor Osimhen transfer to Arsenal or Chelsea decided as deadline day verdict revealed. And that's much we can take from our news desk this morning. I'm reaching you from the stables of G9ijaTV News Headlines with your host, Dr. Champion. Please stay safe, stay away from quarrels, from disagreements, from fights, from injury. And of course, stay informed, stay ahead of the curve. I see you tomorrow. Bye.